Iran's active agricultural sector presents international buyers with highly competitive base pricing and flexible regional logistics for livestock feed concentrate. The initial draw is a bold price tag, often between $140 and $170 per metric ton for basic bulk supply. But that low preliminary price is meaningless if the feed arrives with fluctuating nutritional composition or is seized at local customs. If you chase the lowest initial quote without strictly verifying phytosanitary certificates and logistics plans, any upfront cost savings will disappear. To make this sourcing strategy viable, you have to lock down exact technical specifications and demand non-negotiable export documents. A successful deal requires integrating the supplier as a vetted export partner, prioritizing long-term operational reliability over a one-off transaction. The first major hurdle in that partnership is verifying the actual nutritional composition of the feed. This dynamic scorecard illustrates the two halves of the process. On the left, defining the exact crude protein levels and energy values is a mandatory requirement before any pricing negotiation even begins. These specific inputs dictate whether the feed supports your required growth targets, distinguishing a dairy cow from a fattening sheep. Protecting those yields requires an independent lab analysis report, verifying the supplier's claims against your target markers. Enforcing this rigorous testing will extend your negotiation timeline and increase your upfront costs. But skipping this step introduces severe operational risk. You might accidentally purchase a general ruminant mix when your herd specifically requires high-yield dairy cow concentrate to maintain production. Precise nutritional demands and verifiable lab tests are non-negotiable. Animal yield efficiency is the ultimate driver of your farm's profitability. Once the nutritional makeup is confirmed, you have to navigate the physical logistics of packaging, handling, and shipping. This comparison layout shows your physical logistics options, moving from massive bulk silos on one side to neatly stacked 25 and 50 kilogram retail bags on the other, each presenting very different logistics profiles. Bulk packaging drastically lowers the handling cost per ton. However, it requires massive specialized storage at the destination and limits your ability to resell to smaller local farms. Suppliers can also provide custom formulations or private label packaging to help you build a brand. The trade-off for that customization is volume. Activating specialized packaging or unique formulas drives this bar sharply upward, pushing your minimum order quantity drastically higher. Higher MOQs and specialized production runs severely limit the pool of capable Iranian suppliers who can execute the order reliably. The packaging and formulation choices you make directly dictate the scale of capital and storage required to even enter a negotiation. Beyond physical logistics, you face the most critical failure point in international trade: export documentation and customs friction. Never rely solely on a supplier's domestic wholesale quote to forecast your final import budget. Returning to the right side of our scorecard, you can see the essential export documents lighting up. Securing a comprehensive packet, a certificate of origin, a commercial invoice, and a packing list is the minimum standard for basic trade compliance. Demanding these documents slows down the initial purchase order because you have to pause to verify the supplier's export history. You also must secure destination-specific regulatory paperwork, like a health, veterinary, or phytosanitary certificate, to clear your local customs. The ultimate compliance burden rests squarely on you. You have to understand your own country's import laws perfectly before engaging a supplier. Missing a single veterinary certificate when the shipment reaches your destination port turns a cheap shipment into a total financial loss. All of these factors change how you calculate the true return on investment for importing feed. The preliminary quote of $140 to $170 per metric ton provides a dangerous, false sense of your potential margin. This waterfall chart breaks down the true cost. Starting from a low $140 baseline, we stack the hidden cost escalators: custom formulation premiums, inland freight charges, and export documentation fees, resulting in a much higher realistic landed price. External variables like global grain market shifts and currency exchange fluctuations will also continually alter the final quotation the supplier offers. Your true ROI isn't based on the initial wholesale quote. It is calculated by weighing the final, fully landed cost against the actual verified nutritional yield of the feed. Your ideal sourcing strategy depends entirely on your specific business model. This decision flowchart maps out the two primary paths. For regional bulk distributors on the left, the strategy connects downwards to standard formulas, jumbo bags, and securing favorable Incoterms. As a distributor, your core priority is verifying the supplier's export volume history and locking down highly efficient logistics terms. If you run a specialized livestock or dairy farm, your path on the right requires exact specifications and mandatory lab analysis to ensure yield efficiency. You cannot compromise on independent lab testing for protein and mineral balance, even if it means paying a higher rate per ton. If you lack the capital to meet high minimum order quantities, or you are unwilling to navigate strict phytosanitary paperwork, you should not attempt to import directly. Sourcing livestock feed concentrate from Iran can be highly profitable, but it only works if you treat procurement as a strict integration of nutrition science and international trade law.